Hey guys, I have a new collection and I just wanted to show you how to edit some of them. So here we are, and I've made different colors and a few different styles. This is the potato sack, and we just it's just supposed to be a tool to help you basically perfect that pose and the way that you wrap. So making your life slightly easier. And I've also added, if you can see, I'm just gonna open one of these thumbnails. There you go. So if you can see around there, there's even a little bit of shadows here and there, and it comes in sort of like different shapes, I guess. Different backdrops would look slightly differently, but this would help you edit the photo and just blend the face with the backdrop. If the face shade, color, skin tone is not exactly matching, simply use a layer mask and take it off. Okay, let's just quickly start. Just going to adjust my screen a little bit. Okay, sorry about that, just like all of my screen to look nice and neat. Okay, so here's one of the backdrop. This one is the red one, and we're going to pick the face from a different photo. This one is pretty old, I don't know, like a year or two. I can't even remember when I took this photo. There's another baby just behind there, by the way. And I've already edited the skin, so I'm just literally just starting with the edit. So quickly just drag that into my backdrop, and I'm dragging it below the layer of the backdrop. Now I'm going to use the corner. Doesn't matter which corner you're going to use, just make sure you click on your shift key on your keyboard to make sure that you keep the proportions and not making it look distorted. Okay, so making it a bit bigger and sort of like finding the right spot. Don't forget, as I always say, make sure that the light direction is a match. In this case, most cases actually, it's always from the left side of the backdrop. Just this is just the way that I like to edit my backdrops, and I'm just gonna drag it a little bit more. Now I know that the face looks a little bit bigger, or bigger than the usual, I suppose, but when you do the potato sack, the face is always the one that is closer to the camera, because just because of the way that you shoot the photo and the angle that is like from above. So the body is slightly smaller. um, I would even personally make it slightly bigger because I just sort of like that look. But if you guys feel that the face is too big, or you like the proportions to look differently, just do it the way that you like it. So I've made it slightly bigger, just the way that I would think it would fit. Going back to the layer of my backdrop, and I'm going to use filter and liquify. So what I'm going to do in liquify, let's just first zoom in because I want to be a little more accurate. Let's see where I am playing. I'm going to click here on show backdrop and click on the layer. In this case it's layer number 2, because layer number 2 is the layer of our face. And using just the first tool, I'm just going to adjust a little bit here and there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do above because it just looks fine. I think it looks okay, and I think I'm just going to leave it. So I'm just going to adjust a little bit down making my brush smaller as I go, just to make things a little more accurate. Okay, got a small cute chin right there. Let's just get it all in there. It's a little bit hard to see, so if you wanna make sure that you do a good job, just play with the opacity. The slider is right there and you would be able to see exactly where you stand. I think I did a good job here. I don't think I need to do anything else. I'm just gonna quickly drag it. Yep, so the bonnet finish here and there's a little bit of hair there, so I'm guessing her head would finish there. So that looks fine to me, and I'm just gonna hit OK, and there you go. So I'm gonna go back and forward so you would see the little change we made, and there you go. Now I don't think I need to add matte shadows, and the reason will be because she's got hair, it sort of like blends nicely, so I'm just gonna maybe add a little bit but not too much. But the first thing I want to do, her face feels a bit too bright, so let's just reduce it. I'm going to click on the brightness here, just reduce it a little bit so she's not popping too much, and I'm going to use my black brush 35%. It's literally just been on 35%. You can play with it if you want more, have more. And I'm just going to add some light in the center. It's not adding light, it's just bringing what was there before. Alright, I'm happy with the result. I'm just going to merge it down because I don't like, it's just me, it's a me thing. I don't like when I have too many layers. And I'm gonna go on, I'm gonna zoom in and I'm gonna show you that there's a little bit of like halo. It's like fluff. It is actually probably the fluff from the bonnet, and I'm just gonna reduce a little bit of that fluff, but I can either just use the brush with a layer mask. Just gonna quickly do a little bit, just reducing a little bit of that fluff. Now on a brighter skin tone, or if there was no hair, you probably wouldn't see that fluff, but because there's such a contrast with her hair, so you see it a bit more. So always open layer mask and play, and just adjust. I'm back on my backdrop, and I'm going to use my burn tool, and I'm going to use it. Yeah, I'm on the mid-tone there, which is fine. Just adding a little bit more shadow around where I had that fluff. Just making it slightly darker. That's it. Don't see anything else that I feel like I need to do. On the baby layer, no, sorry, let's go back to that. I'm going to add a little more shadow right under the chin. Okay, so on the side that you would naturally have the shadow, just gonna change it to shadows as well, reducing the size of my brush, and another tiny little bit of shadow right there, because you would always have a little more shadow on this side of the face. So not too much. I don't know, I think maybe it's too much. Let me just go a little back. I'm going to reduce my exposure here, just so I can do it slightly less. That's it. That feels a bit more natural to me. Yeah, that looks good to me. I'm gonna go back to my face layer basically, and I'm going to just click on a couple of filters because I want to warm up her face just a little bit. So I clicked on the filter yellow, which gives a nice sort of golden tone to the face. And I also have a pink one. Now I'm using the pink one. I don't use it very often, but I'm using it only because I have so much red around her, which means that I would have some red cast color on her face. So I don't want to use it everywhere. I'm going to just grab my brush, black, 100% opacity on the layer mask, and I'm just going to remove it from the center of the face. So somewhere around there, it's super fine. I don't even know if you can see, but somewhere around there there's a bit more pinkish around her face, which will make it look a little more natural. Now, if you guys don't have my actions, simply go to this symbol and where are you? There, photo filter, and just adjust the color. It's somewhere around there. That will be a good color that will give you a nice pink tone. So don't go to pink because that will give you a purple tone. Go to the orange section. Somewhere like light orange would give you a nice pink tone to the face. Okay, so don't need that one, did that already. And that looks good to me, and I think I'm done. So when I feel like I'm done, I'm just gonna click on my flatten image. I didn't even add shadows on the sides. It looks good because she's got a darkish skin tone. The only thing is that here I know it's like a weird thing. It's not like a big deal, but it's not very round. I will probably just use a little bit of liquify and just fix it a little bit. Make sure you untick that because then you won't be able to see your proper layer. And that's it. I feel like I'm done with this edit. I'm pretty happy with it. As I always say, if you guys feel like you need to add something just to close the edit, I don't know, use one of the filters. Oops, sorry, double clicked. Let me just reduce that. Okay, so yeah, you guys can just like click on any of the tones, and these do not look that good to me. Okay, this one is really nice, but I will probably not use anything. I usually use a Sweet Summer to finish all of my edits. Kind of gives it a nice sort of good glow. But that's pretty much it. So this is one done. I don't even need to save that. I'm just going to don't save it and take it off. So actually I'm going to leave this one for later. So here's another face that I'm going to edit to a different backdrop this time. So I just thought I'm going to show it to you again. Slightly different color tone and a complete different backdrop. There you go. Okay, so same as we did before, we dragged it, we pulled it underneath. I'm going to click on the shift key, making sure that I'm keeping the proportions right. And I'm just going to adjust it. Same as before, the same light direction. Now you can either like make it straight or with a slight angle, because this backdrop has a little bit of an angle. I think all of them has a little bit of an angle, just a tiny bit. And yes, I did it deliberately because I just thought it would look slightly more natural if it's not super straight. So even if you edit a photo with a complete angle and just adjust the bonnet, or even this, it would still look good to me. I think it would still look good. Okay, so Alright, I think this is good. Let's just click OK. I'm going back to my top layer, and let's do adjustments in Liquify. And you see we have all these shadows here, so we can play with the shadows, either leave them there, use them, or if they don't sit right, we can just remove them. Okay, so remember we're clicking on the show backdrop. Now we got all layers, and we go to the layer which is underneath so we can see it. Just zooming in, and okay, our face is pretty good actually. Yeah, so I'm just going to adjust it just a little bit, maybe here. Very little, because she's pretty much on the right place there. Okay, so clicking OK, let me just quickly have a look. Alright, so there's a little bit of like halo here, because there's a bit of transparent area there because of the shadows. So this is just the part that I'm going to start playing. There you go. So I'm just exposing a little bit of the face by removing some of what's supposed to be shadows, but her skin tone is pretty dark, so it just looks a bit like foggy. I don't know, that's what it looked like to me, like a bit of fog. Gonna use a different opacity just to blend it, and back to 100% because I want to just fix a little bit here. Okay, so this looks okay, and let me see. It's one of these things, every time you think you've finished, and then, oh, there's just something there that you can do. Part of the reason why I kind of left the shadows in there is because I kind of like the fluff, like the bonnet fluff. I think it gives it a really nice sort of realistic feel when you do have some of it on the baby face. Yeah, so if you won't remove the shadows, it would look really nice. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of fake shadows right now. I'm going to use my actions, but you can use the burn tool again if you wanted. There's not much to do, not much. Just adding a little bit here and there, because it is already sitting really nicely. And on the action backdrop, remember, just add a tiny bit of shadow on the baby chin. Okay, so I'm happy with that, and I'm just going to adjust a little bit of the baby face. I'm just going to merge it down. I'm going to go to color balance, and because this backdrop is so light and cool in the tone, so I'm going to just make her face, it's a girl by the way, so I'm gonna make her face slightly less warm. So I'm just playing here, just looking for a nice color tone. I'm struggling a little bit because I'm not sure the one. Okay, let me see before and after. So that reduced some of the orange and the reds from her face, and I think that fit slightly better than what it was before. So once I'm happy with it, I'm going to click flatten image and probably use the sweet summer again. This is what I usually, it's my one go to all of my backdrops. And yes, I like it. Okay, so this is pretty much it. And let me think any other edits I should do. I think that would pretty much help you understand what's going on with these backdrops. I have this one. I just wanted to show you that I took the baby face from a photo that wasn't actually planned to go in the potato sack, but that worked as well. So as long as you have a nice straight face, or as straight as you can, I mean this is not 100% straight, but it also works. So don't be too worried about if you forgot to take a proper face in the session. Just go and check all of your photos, and as long as the face is roughly like that, that would also work on the puppets. So that's it. I think yeah, if you guys have any questions, you know what to do. And thank you for watching. See you later. Bye bye.